If the European Union financial situation does not turn out on a positive side, monetary bond between Europe and ASEAN may be quite difficult to predict for 2012. Let's hear more on this from the UK ambassador.
In your opinion, at this stage, do you think that the single currency in Europe can withstand the pressures from crisis in Greece, in Spain, Portugal, or Italy?
It is certainly under strain, and the strains will remain as long as markets, analysts and others are convinced that the actions that individual governments are taking, and collectively, now that they've agreed on a deal, that these are addressing the real need for action. I don't think this is a cosmetic one, and it's not one you can simply talk your way out of. Collectively we will be judged by the difficult choices that the European community as a whole will have to make. And it is very, very clear that just because we chose not to join the euro does not mean that we are somehow wishing it to disintegrate. It's far from it. We want the project to succeed because our economy is tied to the European economy. They're our largest trading partner. We benefit from being part of that system.
In your opinion, what lessons that ASEAN and Thailand in particular can learn from the European Union and also from the single currency?
Yes, I've been dealing with this region for 8 years now, and I've learned to respect ASEAN as an institution and the individual members within it. So the last thing the United Kingdom will say is we know what ASEAN should do. But I hope that our experience within the European Union and what we've done as the UK will give ASEAN countries the opportunity to look at what works well for us and to be a little bit cautious about what doesn't, and to move at a pace that brings everybody along together and to sell the ASEAN, if you like, architecture to the public. So, for example, when the ASEAN Charter agreed on human rights as a common value, we thought that was great. It was a universal acceptance of what's happening. This idea that people should move freely and this connectivity of ASEAN is good. Some of the safeguard measures that people are starting to talk about, whether it's the Chiang Mai Initiative, these are good things. Free trade agreements, which
the ASEAN Economic Community.
The ASEAN Economic Community, as you see the integration coming from 2015 onwards, is, in our view, headed in the right direction. But I think many people would think twice about affecting sovereignty issues of individual ASEAN countries, and the idea of a common currency is in the realms of fantasy here, I think. You need, even within the framework of what is being proposed here, the economies that are needing to catch up have some long way to go, and I think this project has to move with that sort of evolution in mind. But what is good for us is that if ASEAN as an entity prospers, if it is a place where good governance emerges, democracy is preserved, human rights are observed, and you have no conflict within it, then you become what you should be, a great trading partner. And I've said it before, that the EU free trade agreement with Thailand and then around the region as a bloc couldn't happen sooner. We'd like active negotiation for that to be concluded.
In your opinion, what is the outlook of the Euro crisis impacts on Asian ASEAN economies and Thailand in particular next year?
Sure. I've seen one or two commentators almost rejoicing with the discomfort in the Eurozone, thinking that this was fundamentally flawed, or this showed that somehow or other this is the rise of Asia and the fall of the EU. That is a very dangerous construct, because we are interdependent. We are a major trading partner for Thailand and for ASEAN. You need our spending power. We need our investment. We need your investment. I think that where the dynamics have changed, that the expectation is not one way. It's not that we will continue to develop and you'll be reliant on our policing of the world system. I think we need ASEAN to invest to keep the financial transactions going. And we want consumption to increase in countries where consumption is low. We don't want manipulation of currencies where these are artificially propped up at a certain value. We don't want trade barriers and if you like, almost the government stopping you from buying competitive goods from Europe and the UK simply because somebody thinks that Thailand or China or somebody makes poorer ones. I think the consumer should win. So overall, I think Thailand, ASEAN needs a thriving Europe. It needs a thriving United States of America. It needs to consume responsibly and to contribute to the global trading systems in a way in which we come out of this together. And we see signs of that. So I don't think I'm not raising a complaint about what countries are not doing. But I think the potential for recovery is there, but it's going to be a long and painful one.
I see. For next year, can Thai exporters or the Thai tourism industry still depend on the customer in Europe, in UK, in your opinion?
Well, I can speak more strongly about the UK because it's the country I know best. We have enjoyed many things from Thailand and will continue to do so. Many of the food industry exports from Thailand are vital and enjoyed by the UK. If you look at some more sophisticated industries as well, in terms of engineering, components made in Ayutthaya are used in Swindon. We have these global dependencies, and that's great. If you talk about tourism, in the end, we have 850,000 tourists coming into Thailand, 51,000 Brits who live here. The numbers have fallen slightly, but it's up. I think Thailand is a great product. If tourism volumes carry on, you'll be buying Airbuses with Rolls-Royce engines. Whether it's AirAsia or Thai, and we'll be delighted. So there's a win-win here in terms of what is actually going on. So yes, I'm optimistic that the trends that we've enjoyed in the past will continue. If you look at education, some 5,000 students are studying at any given time in the UK from Thailand. They come back and become great ambassadors, not only for the UK but for Thailand as well. There's talk of educational institutions from the UK coming over here and investing. I think our links are actually much broader than just buying and selling things from each other. I think our people know each other better. So I'm more optimistic that from the UK's point of view, this interchange will continue. We're also seeing huge increase in Thais traveling to the UK. Last year we issued 20% more visas than the year before from Thailand, which is a great thing. The Olympics will mean that the Thai national team will find its way to the base camp in Manchester and perform in London. And if you come away with a few medals, preferably not beating British athletes, then it'll be great for Thailand. And I think that's what I mean. I think we are an open country, and I think Thailand is open to us, and we feel happy and welcome here. And you saw it in the recent floods. You'll see it in many other situations. We empathize here. We belong here in terms of the people who are living and working and investing in Thailand. So no, I think despite the many challenges surrounding us in the storm that we're in, I think these bonds are strong, and they will enable us to emerge from this as partners.
Okay, thank you, Your Excellency, for joining our program.
Follow Towards 2015 open up to the ASEAN market every Wednesday and Thursday from 10:30 to 11 p.m. on ASEAN TV. And you can also follow us online via Facebook only on ASEAN TV.